In this video, I'll be reviewing this 2019 Volkswagen Atlas V6 SE with 4Motion and technology. First introduced in 2018, this is Volkswagen's flagship SUV. This is Volkswagen's first attempt at the 3-row SUV segment, and today we will see how well they have done. This Volkswagen starts at $39,095. It competes with SUVs such as the Kia Telluride, Ford Explorer, and Subaru Ascent. I counted, and there are 13 different trim levels available for the Volkswagen Atlas. Firstly, if you want 4-wheel drive, you will have to get a trim level with 4Motion, which is Volkswagen's 4-wheel drive system. Every trim level of the Atlas, besides the S, or base model, comes with a dual overhead cam 3.4-liter 24-valve V6 engine. A vehicle equipped with this engine, including this one, makes 276 horsepower at 6,200 RPM and 266 pound-feet of torque at 2,750 RPM. The base, or S model, comes equipped with the turbocharged dual overhead cam 2-liter 16-valve inline 4-cylinder engine. This engine makes 235 horsepower at 4,500 RPM and 258 pound-feet of torque at 1,600 RPM. All trims get a Tiptronic 8-speed shiftable automatic transmission. The power then gets sent to the wheels through a 4Motion system, which is the one this has, or regular front-wheel drive system in the front-wheel drive models. The color of this Volkswagen Atlas is called Pure White, which is one of the 8 colors available for this vehicle. If you get an R-line trim, the front and rear bumpers are changed to R-line bumpers. Along with that, you get R-line badges. This Atlas also has keyless entry on all 4 doors, which is very convenient. Additionally, there's a giant gap between the hood and the windshield for the windshield washers. This is done to increase aerodynamics and clean up the look of this vehicle. The SUV weighs about 4,502 pounds and can tow up to 5,000 pounds. It also has a payload capacity of about 1,213 pounds. In the city, it gets 17 miles per gallon, and on the highway, it gets 23, with a combined MPG of 19. This Volkswagen Atlas has 18-inch alloy wheels and 8 inches of ground clearance, which comes in handy if you plan on doing some off-roading. Also, when you turn on one of the turn signals, a light flashes next to the side mirror. Whether it notifies the driver or passing cars that it's on, I don't know. Around back, you can see that the word Atlas is spelled across the rear liftgate in chrome letters, along with the 4Motion, V6, and SE badges. One thing that I don't like about the exterior of this vehicle is the fact that it has fake exhaust. Overall, this SUV has a very clean and boxy look that will appeal to many people. Interior quality is okay for this segment, but there are others better than this vehicle. Everything feels solid and well built, but the materials used aren't so great. For example, the door is made of cheap plastic, along with the glove box and areas around it. That being said, the dashboard, infotainment system, gear lever, and other parts of the interior are very good. There's also a storage area up here which is nice, but I wish it had a lid. There's a huge center console and a pretty big glove box. Also, for some reason, the dashboard is really short. As you move towards the back of the vehicle, you will find that quality slowly deteriorates as in most cars. The second row is average compared to most SUVs in this segment. You do get to control the rear climate control system using these buttons, and best of all, they are automatic. No heated seats in the back of this vehicle though. You do, however, get to block peasants in your Volkswagen Atlas. Moving on to the third row, it is not great at all. The armrests are not padded and there is cheap plastic everywhere you look. There are two vents back here, but otherwise, that's it. The first and second rows of the vehicle are very spacious and roomy, in contrast to the third row which is a bit cramped. However, there's enough space for decent-sized adults to sit back here. The trunk of this vehicle is power operated, but not hands-free. It is decent sized, though you're going to have to fold down the seats if you plan on putting lots of luggage back here. When you first get into the vehicle and turn it on, it greets you with a warm welcome by saying on the infotainment system, "Welcome to Volkswagen." Also, when you keep your hand close to the infotainment system, the menu pops up and the system gets ready to be touched. This explains why there's no lag in the system and how it processes things so quickly. One thing that Volkswagen cheaped out on is the radio power button and volume knob. When I turn it to adjust the volume, the power symbol turns with it. They didn't spend any money to make the knob turn independently from the symbol. Also, on certain screens, when you click an icon, the screen flips to reveal whatever you have pressed. This SUV has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and MirrorLink. One cool thing about this vehicle is the fact that it has an SD card slot. However, when you look, you won't find an SD card slot anywhere. That's because it's hidden inside the glove box right below the CD slot. There, you will find 4 SD card storage areas. This would mean that this Volkswagen Atlas has 6 different media inputs. They are as follows: the auxiliary port, the CD player, Bluetooth audio, the first USB, the second USB, and the SD card. When you tap the vehicle icon, the first page that pops up is called Energy Consumers. It tells you all the things that are consuming energy or fuel. For example, since I have the climate control system on, it's telling me that it's consuming about 1/4 of a gallon per hour. The second page is called Driving Data. There I can view things such as my average MPG, average speed, and engine runtime. The third page is called Think Blue Trainer, and for some reason, Blue and Trainer are abbreviated. The dial on the left gives you a score as to how blue or eco-friendly your driving is. Moving on to the dial in the middle, the 2 arcs on either end show braking and acceleration. The white segment in the dial moves clockwise every 5 seconds, telling you how efficiently you were driving for that time period. A picture in the middle of the dial will pop up, telling you one of the following: to think ahead while driving, if the current driving speed is not fuel efficient, or if the current driving style is fuel efficient. The dial on the right shows your MPG in real time. When you tap the Think Blue button on the bottom right hand corner, it shows you several tips on how to save fuel. The fourth and last page is called Vehicle Status. It gives warnings such as low tire pressure, traction control off, and various other stuff. One interesting thing that I noticed was that when I turned the SUV off with this page open, or a warning message is displayed on that page, the Volkswagen Atlas displayed on this page turns from silver to black, and I have absolutely no idea why they did this. Right now, I'm on driver 1. When I click on driver 3, it says the configuration wizard will help me configure the driver 3 settings. Now, this isn't like memory seats. It would be nice if it had that, but it doesn't. They're instead used for setting the time and date, presets, and connecting your phone through Bluetooth. You can also change the name of the driver so you don't just have to have it say driver 1, 2, and 3. And if you decide to lend your Volkswagen Atlas to someone, there's a guest button specifically for that. Also, when you're on any page in the vehicle menu and tap on settings, you can choose if you want ESC and ASR on, just ASR off, or have ASR off and ESC in sport mode. Now just to get things straight, ASR stands for anti-slip regulation, which is basically traction control. And when you have the electronic stability control in its sport setting, it allows the vehicle to have more traction when going around a corner at higher speeds. When you have ASR off and ESC in sport, or just ASR off, the tires turn orange and 2 warnings pop up. One saying that the traction control system is off, and the other saying that the front collision alert is turned off. For some reason, they turned off the front collision alert when you put the vehicle in one of these 2 settings. You also have voice control in this vehicle, but the functionality is limited. There are loads of safety systems for this trim level which I like. You get lane keep assist, front collision alert, rear cross traffic alert, and a blind spot monitoring system. This vehicle even has radar cruise control. What it doesn't have is a digital cockpit, ambient lighting, panoramic sunroof or sunroof for that matter, ventilated seats, a 360-degree camera, a power passenger seat, and memory controls. Also, the backup camera has a high resolution. On the bottom of the screen, you can see that it says, "Look, safe to move?" as if asking you a rhetorical question. Even if you were in an empty parking lot with no obstructions whatsoever, it would say the same thing. Moving on to the climate control system, when you press the menu button, you can control it through the screen. There's a button labeled Air Care, which keeps out pollen, fungal spores, and pollutants out. Who would want to turn that off? There's also a button labeled Rest, and it is a very ingenious idea. It is short for residual heat. When you turn off the ignition and press it, it'll use heat from the engine to heat up the interior for up to 30 minutes. This way, if it's really cold outside and you exit the vehicle for a short period, you won't have to worry about coming back in and feeling cold. The only thing that I don't understand is how it blows cold air. Lastly, you may notice that the off button is missing. For that, you either have to press the menu button and turn it off through the screen, or reduce the fan speed all the way to 0. The 4 different driving modes in the Volkswagen Atlas are Snow, On-Road, Off-Road, and Off-Road Custom. When you cycle through the modes, different pictures show up in the infotainment screen, showing the characteristics of each mode. Also, when the drive mode is in the on-road setting and you press the mode button, you can select between Eco, Normal, Sport, and Custom. In on-road custom mode, you can adjust things to cater to your individual driving experience, such as the steering feel, drive system, and other things. Similarly, when you select off-road custom mode, you can adjust various things when you're going off-roading, such as the 4-wheel drive system, hill descent control, hill start assist, and other things. The owner's manual comes neatly in this Volkswagen branded pouch, along with the manual for the infotainment system and the warranty and maintenance guide. You also get this cool quick start guide. You flip open each of the tabs to reveal information on that category. This is the key for the Volkswagen Atlas, which feels fairly cheap and lightweight. The Volkswagen Atlas is a great buy if you want a vehicle in this segment. It picks up decently fast and has a really good V6 exhaust note. It is also one of the best when it comes to off-roading. Space isn't much of a problem, though there are competitors that are bigger. It has a lot of features at this price point and has a very comfortable and smooth ride. Gas mileage is pretty decent, and you can tell that this vehicle is centered on fuel economy. Overall, this is an SUV that may surprise a lot of people and is an excellent vehicle to buy today.